What's going on, fam? Dre over here at Set Apart Gardens. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Hope you like this video. If you do end up liking it, please hit that subscribe button. But today we're going to talk about butchery. Specifically, I'm going to tell you how I taught myself how to butcher my own meat. I've never been to any course, went to any school, nothing like that. Everything you see on my channel, how I butcher my meat, whether it's chickens, whether it's sheep, whether it's goats, whether it's turkeys, I learned myself. So I'm going to talk about how I learned how to do that and how you can too. So like I was saying, a lot of people, most people who butcher, their own meat and different things like that have went to courses and different things, studied maybe apprenticeships under butchers and stuff like that. However, I didn't do any of that because this is the thing. I always knew that I wanted to be able to have the skill, the life skill, the survival skill, whatever you want to call it, to be able to harvest my own food and process my own food. So I just jumped in head first because when I learned, of course, I had a full-time job. I want to say at that time I was also in college, getting my degree. So I knew I wouldn't have had time to go sit up under a butcher or do an apprenticeship because I'm a family man. I have a job and things like that. So I just learned myself. You know what I'm saying? I just dove head first into learning myself. So anything, like I say, anything you see me do, I have taught myself. I've learned through various means, which I'm going to talk about today. All right, so first and foremost, I know there are many of you who are like me that are visual learners. I've always been a visual learner. When I see somebody do something enough times, maybe like 3-4 times, I'm able to, learn how to do it myself because I like to observe. Now, I can also learn by reading as well and research. However, I learn mostly by observing. So when it came to learning how to butcher, I was watching videos daily of how different cultures, how different people, professionals, village people, you know what I mean? Like people from other countries, how they butcher their meat, how they slaughter, how they process, different methods. And I watched many videos, many videos. Also, I bought books as well because this is the thing. Although I'm a visual learner, there are some things that you're going to learn better through reading and actually seeing it broken down, on a page through words, learning different terms, researching those terms. So there are 2 books specifically that I bought. I'm going to put them in the description link below. I'm going to leave a link to them if you want to learn how to butcher your own meat. I highly recommend those books. And if you're going to buy them, please use our affiliate links. But however, I also bought books because this is the thing. Research is good. Don't get me wrong. Research is great. But in the event that the internet is not accessible, you want to be able to have a hard physical book that you can reference. I use books for reference points. If I want to learn a specific thing or if I need a refresher on a specific thing, I can open up that book and be able to read right there. So combined with visual learning, I also have books as well that I use as reference points and reference guides for certain things. You know what I mean? But just diving into it head first, doing all the research. Like I would look up videos like chicken butcher, you know what I mean? Or how to pluck a chicken manually. Or, just how to butcher a goat. And then you get all these different type of videos, whether it's from people in other countries, in India, Middle East, or even in America, and just watching all of those and gleaning all of the information that I can from those books. I mean, not books, but those videos. And seeing, okay, well, they did this specific thing right here, but they didn't do this on that video. Okay, so there's more ways to skin a cat than I thought. And you're going to learn that because, and that's with all areas of life that I've come to learn. There's multiple ways to do things. You don't just have to do it one set way. People teach you based off of the methods that they know. And this is the thing, that's what works for them. I always say take the principles from what you learn. Yes, you can try the steps, and once you try the steps and it doesn't really feel right to you, then if you know the principle, you're able to adjust the steps based on what feels more comfortable to you. Because some people are, more methodical, whereas some people are more, they go by their feel, how they feel, and and different things like that. You know, some people have a system, but some people just go with the flow. So it's like using what works best for you. But you have to know the principles of whatever you're learning in order to be able to customize what you're doing. So that's what I did. I just looked at a whole bunch of videos, did a whole bunch of research, got books for references, and I combined the principles from everything that I learned, and I came up with my own methods and my own systems to butcher. One of the main things that I learned when it comes to processing animals is that you need the proper setup. What do I mean by that? Do I mean you got to have a whole build out of, you know, your whole butchery room or anything? No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is you need essentials. So say for instance, if you're going to be doing chickens, if you're going to be processing chickens, you're going to need something where you can boil water. You're going to need something to hold that water that you're boiling. You're going to, you know, need gloves. You're going to need probably a tarp, depending on where you're at. Now, if you're in, you know, in the field, then cool, you don't need to put that down. But if you're going to be on cement, you're going to need to put something down. You're going to need a bucket for the, you know, the internals and different things like that. You're going to need coolers to put the meat. You're going to need cleaning products. You're going to need knives. Like there's essential things that you're going to need when you're processing an animal. And as the animal gets bigger, it's more things that you're going to need. So if you're going to be doing a goat or a sheep, you're going to need a gambrel most likely, or something to where you can be able to raise them up so you can skin them, so you can elevate them and be able to gut them and different things like that. So you're going to need something to hang them up on. So that means either a gambrel, either something, a pulley system. You know what I mean? Also, you're going to need certain knives, because all knives are not equal. You have knives for deboning, you have knives for skinning the animal, you have a butcher knife, you know, to cut the meat up in chunks. And then as you start getting into bigger game, like say cows, or if you want to do pork or whatever your preference is, you know, you might need like a saw, a hand saw, or you know, a saw that is a power saw or something like that. I'm not sure the exact name of the actual butcher equipment, but you're gonna need butchering equipment. You know what I mean? So it's like you learn that you're gonna need the correct setup in order to be able to successfully process an animal, because you want to do it in a clean and neat manner, so that way there's no contamination of any sort while you're doing this. You see what I'm saying? So that's just one of the principles that I learned when you're going to be processing your own animals. You're going to need the proper setup. You're going to need to know what you're going to need to be able to successfully butcher this animal. One piece of advice I want to give people who want to get into butchering their own food: start with small game. And this is the thing, this is the universal principle. Whenever you want to do something in life, start small and then grow. It's no different when it comes to butchering and processing your own food. Start with small game. Start with chicken. Start with quail. You know what I mean? If you eat rabbit, you know what I'm saying, or whatever the case may be, start with something small. Don't just say, I want to go and butcher a cow, or I want to go butcher a pig. No, start with something small. That way, first off, you're getting used to seeing the life go from something, because that's something that is not talked about enough. Like, when you're processing food, the life leads from that animal that you're going to be processing. So you're going to have to be able to stomach that. A lot of people can't stomach that, which, hey, I'm okay with. But I'm saying if you want to get into it, you're going to have to be able to stomach that. So what do you think is easier, seeing a chicken or seeing a cow or seeing a sheep? It's going to be a chicken, because it's smaller. It's something smaller. I mean, you got some people who it's all the same, but I'm saying for the most part, and from my experience, it's easier to process a chicken than it is to do a sheep or a goat. Just more personality and bigger game. But start small, because you might not have all the necessary tools to do something big. You see what I'm saying? And you might not have the time, because it takes time, especially if you're gonna be doing it by yourself or with one other person. It's gonna take time to butcher, skin, process, break down the meat, break down the organs, clean everything out, clean up behind yourself and what you're doing. It's gonna take time to do, and then breaking down each piece of meat, sealing it, you know what I'm saying, packaging it for the freezer. It's gonna take time for all of that stuff, versus if you're doing something small like a chicken, it's like, okay, I learned how to do this. Okay, I'm doing 10 birds. Okay, that's gonna take me about 2 hours. Cool. Whereas a whole goat may take me 3, 4, 5 hours, you know what I'm saying? If I'm depending on what I'm trying to do. If I'm trying to do everything that day, meaning break all the meat down, get it processed and packaged up, that's gonna take you a few hours. Versus if you're just doing chicken or a turkey, or if you eat rabbit, it's not gonna take you as long. So definitely start small. Now, one thing I will say is that I have saved a lot of money by teaching myself how to do this, by teaching myself how to process my own food, because, you know, just being honest, it costs money to, you know, go to these courses or get certified and different things like that. Now, that's not to say that I don't want to eventually, you know, go and get certified and you know, get a butcher's license and things like that, but just being able to do it for personal consumption, I saved a lot of money. Because if you go in the store, like for instance, I love goat meat, I love lamb. Going in the store, buying a leg of lamb is expensive. Going in the store to get some goat, it's expensive. Versus me being able to pay, you know what I'm saying, depending on what the market is on the goats or whatever, going able to go buy a whole one and come out better. You know what I'm saying? Because if I buy a whole animal and I divide it by what I pay for the whole animal, the leg of lamb or the leg of goat, it's, you know what I'm saying, 2 to 3 times cheaper than what I buy from in the store. Especially if you want it organic. So it's like you save a lot of money. Most of your equipment and tools can be used on all animals. So when it comes to knives, when it comes to you know, your coolers, when it comes to different things like that, that can be used for not only chickens and turkeys, but it can also be used for sheep and goats. You know what I mean? Now there are some tools that you only can use for certain animals, like my chicken plucker machine. I can only use that for poultry. I can't use that for a sheep or a goat. But you're able to save money because you don't have to go and buy new stuff, because you're able to use a lot of the stuff for the same animals and different things like that. But I definitely have saved a lot of money over the years that I've been doing this, and also cutting down on the cost of dog food, because I feed my dogs a half raw, half kibble diet. So whenever I'm butchering something, the entrails and everything that I don't want to eat, like say for instance, if I'm doing a goat or a lamb, the lungs, I don't eat the lungs, I don't eat the windpipe, I don't, you know what I'm saying? Like sometimes I'll eat the tripe, sometimes I won't. But those things I can feed to my dogs. Those things the hooves, I'm not gonna eat the hooves. Guess what? Give them to the dogs, chew toys. So it's like, you know, saving money, man, as you're doing it. So it's well worth it. And one of the most important things, I'm gonna leave y'all with this. One of the most important things is the sense of independence and freedom that you get from it. Let's talk about what freedom is. First off, freedom isn't just this easy life. No, freedom comes with hard work. However, freedom is not being hindered and being able to do freely as you want. You know what I mean? So the fact that we live in a country that we're able to process our own food, and if you learn the skills, you can do that, and you can save money, and you can be independent and not be so dependent on, you know what I'm saying, going to external sources to get your food. That gives you a sense of freedom. It gives you a sense of independence. And that's one of the most valuable things that I have gotten from this whole experience, is that peace of mind of being free and independent to do this, and to be able to teach this to my sons, and to be able to teach this to other people. So if you want to learn this, join our Set Apart tribe. I'm going to be going in extensive details on how you can do it, how you can save money. Our Set Apart tribe will be $35 a month. However, it'll be well worth it, because we're not just going to cover butchery or homesteading, gardening, farming. We're going to be covering just self-sufficiency in total. So anything that deals with self-sufficiency, from monetization, making money, from building things, from butchering your own food, from growing your own vegetables, from keeping chickens, from keeping the lambs or goats or whatever, all of that stuff. And it's going to be a community, buying land, all this stuff we're going to be discussing and talking about and going in depth. So if that's something that would benefit you, click the link below in this in this description, and join our Set Apart tribe. But anywho, having that peace of mind of being free and independent, and being able to teach this to my children, not just my sons, my daughter as well, but being able to teach this to my children, being able to benefit from this personally, being able to know where my food comes from, it's something that can't be really explained in words. It can't be bought with money. It's just it's a fulfillment internally. So that's the most important thing that I feel like I have benefited from teaching myself how to butcher. But like I said, you can do it too. If you like this video, if you found this valuable, man, please like it. It helps the algorithm. Also, please subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment down below if you are a butcher, if you're self-taught, or if you learned through traditional learning through schools or courses or whatever. And or if you just want to get into it, if you have questions, all that, man, just leave comments in the comment section, man. I love to hear from you and chat with you. But I'm gonna leave y'all on that. Like I always say, man, he who has the power to feed you also has the power to starve you. I'll see y'all on the next one.
Bombs over Baghdad really ain't that bad. Little wiretap, yes, yes. Little dodge in the IRS. Little haven from the taxman.